Sure.
And we'll edit these things out. And all right. Good afternoon, everyone. I am Dana Carr. I am the Executive Director of Leaders of Tomorrow Youth Center. We are an arts education based nonprofit serving the state of Maryland and DC with arts programs for youth and families. I'm so excited today to be joined by Mr. Juan Webster, who is a hotel executive and is the general manager of our amazing hotel here in Baltimore, the Sagamore Pendry. Mr. Webster has a long history of providing great customer service in hotel chains that you all are familiar with. And so welcome, Mr. Webster, and thank you so much for being here to talk with us today.
Thank you, Dana. So delighted and honored to be here and spend some time with you.
Yes. So one of the things that I've heard about you, we're meeting today for the first time, but that you are a Southern gentleman and providing that Southern hospitality. So tell us a little bit about your background coming from and being raised in a small town in North Carolina now to, managing hotels all over the world and, and just how that has been opening luxury hotels and things like that.
Yeah, no, thank you. Thank you for the opportunity. Yeah, I come from small town America, Madison, North Carolina. I grew up on a uh, long country dirt road that I used to walk to even catch the bus. And
Wow.
when some of my friends first got their driver's license, I would have to meet them at the top of that road so they wouldn't get their tires dirty. So that's how the history of that. But I will say, one of the things that's been adaptable for me is taking the concepts and my upbringing and applying that to everyday life, whether it's luxury hotels or just my social engagement. And I grew up where we knew our neighbors. Our neighbors were family. We were friendly with everyone, gracious, and often exuded our humility. And I think that's really important in the luxury sector. What I've learned most importantly is that luxury is not defined by how you look, but certainly by how you feel. And for us on the hotel side, how we make people feel is really important. It does help that when you have fabulous, well-appointed amenities and great-looking hotels, that does help. But at the end of the day, those amenities, those well-appointed buildings would just be buildings and fabric if people were not there to give this the impact, the core of how you make someone feel. So
Yeah.
my story is simple as being from the South, raised by my grandmother, come from a big family, and I've enjoyed just being who I am throughout the years and letting that inject my associates and teammates and having fun doing so. Love what I do, and it's been that way ever since.
That's great. It's important, and I don't think everybody can say that about the work that they do, that they're excited about it and passionate and excited to come to work to do the work every day. So I think when you can
Sure.
find something that speaks to your talents and your skills and all of that, and you're excited about it too, it's great.
Yeah.
Um, So, working in the hotel field, of course, again, we're an arts organization, and we do
Yeah.
a lot of work with young people just around how, and I'm a big believer in the organization is, of course, as well, in how important and critical the arts are. And just even if you don't, grow up to be the next singer or actor or dancer, they're just such important skills that you can learn in taking arts classes that prepare you for a variety of careers. So, talk to us a little bit about, what you do daily that you feel like really allows you to tap into some of that creative side and maybe even, utilizing the arts.
Yeah, no, I remember back growing up, I was always a chorus student. So I was in the chorus and enjoyed it. I still can't sing to this
I
day.
was gonna say, are you
Uh,
gonna sing a little something for us?
no, no, not at all. But that's my point. The beauty in being in chorus and friends in the band, it really didn't matter how great you were. It just helped build the confidence, and everybody played a role. So I knew I wasn't the best singer or soloist, but it continued to give me confidence and boost that type of energy and what it allowed us to do. You think about being on stage and the practice you get. And now I'm on stage every day because anytime a
Mm.
customer or a client walks through the door, um, you become the best host you possibly can be. So
Yeah.
you don't meet strangers. You want to give off and make them feel comfortable. And I think that's a matter of the confidence built over the years. So when I look at the art side of people displaying their talent, my talent is really in the people part, like working with people, bringing out the best in people, being the best host I possibly can be. I look back and people have those skill sets that they don't even realize, and it's hospitality driven, but it comes from having those opportunities and sometimes being made to feel uncomfortable. So those soloists and those people that have to step out, and you look at an audience or the auditorium or a stage, and you're like, wow, I'm about to do this. You break it down and you take on bite sizes where you can really go out and give your best version of yourself, and hopefully positively impact someone else. And then a lot of times it's really about the energy too. When you think about the arts and the programming and the wonderful things that you all are doing, you prepare kids to bring out the best in themselves.
Yeah.
Get it out and be confident, be bold. It just transfers to our stage in hospitality where you make the connections, you network, you engage, you really make people feel special. And again, it feels like you're inviting them into your home or you're going to something very familiar. So you take unfamiliar territory and you try your best to make it familiar with the people who are coming to decide to spend the night or come for dinner or have drinks or come and celebrate something special.
Yeah, and I love what you're saying just about the people and in that connection.
Yeah,
I feel like, of course, in the way that we have been living in the last year, connectivity is even more important because we've lost some of that with not being able to be, in the same spaces sometimes as family and friends and just, normal social interactions that we were used to having. But I want to also bring up, because you have this lovely background that I mentioned when we were talking a little bit earlier, and just how beautiful the hotel is. And I know there's a lot of, design decisions and colors and,
sure.
those sorts of things. How involved are you in those decisions?
Well, highly involved. I get the honor of working with some of the world's best interior designers, and I get to have a voice in what's next for us and staying innovative, staying at the top. If you're not careful, every hotel can look the same. But the
Yeah.
beauty in creating a new space is adding a different spin and a different type of environment to it. I just spent a week at the Pendry West Hollywood.
Oh, wow.
One of the luxuries we have of being part of a great program and company, we're opening up 4 new hotels this year.
Wow.
So I had a chance to go out and spend a week with that team and that project to get their doors open for the very first time. But I bring it up because they have a whole different element in Hollywood
Mm.
on Sunset Boulevard, and it's beautiful and it's dynamic, and it's cool to see the different pieces come together where every hotel has their own identity, every
Yeah.
one of them have their own character, but you bring about design, arts, and culture. Each property has an opportunity to really influence the neighborhood or the local area that they're in. But also, what we're seeing a lot now in our industry is the way to connect the dots. So most places that want to have spaces that are more inviting, there's a local commitment to having either artwork displayed by some of the people that are local, or telling a different story, or having a place in history and having those stories come alive. And that's the beauty. Like for our hotel here in Baltimore, every step of the way there's a part of history, and it tells a story. So I
Yeah.
think about artists that can play a role in this, and some of the artwork that we have, some of the displays and murals. It's
Mm.
pretty amazing, and you never know where you can get your first opportunity to have something displayed, and that can lead from one hotel to a chain of hotels.
Oh
And
gosh,
you got
Lord.
to think you have visitors from all across the globe coming in, looking at what's in front of them, and there's your opportunity to just connect to the world just
Yeah.
by one piece of work.
Yeah. That's amazing. That's amazing.
Yeah,
I love when I go to hotels and just like you're mentioning, they feature, local cuisine, local
yeah,
artwork,
yeah,
the culture, of that particular community. that environment, that city,
Yeah. Yeah.
especially, a new place for people, like you said, who are traveling all over the country or the world. It
Yeah.
gives you a taste of it, which is really great.
It does. When we get people in our hotel here in Fells Point, a lot of time we had the chance to entertain people for the very first time coming to Baltimore. Never
Mhm.
been to Baltimore before, only have heard of it, and they may hear of only the Wire,
I was
crab
going to
cake,
say, not good stuff.
right? The Wire, crab cakes, and maybe the Oreos, but they don't know about how many pioneers have come through this city and what role it plays in America and what role it plays in the culture. And then we get to take pride in telling our own story, and that's mixed with great service, great food, a well-appointed property, and now you have people with a whole new vision of what Baltimore really is, and we got to tell that ourselves versus them reading or hearing about it. So,
That's
again, another reason to have some pride in everything that we do.
Yeah. Would you tell young people, of course, we work very closely with young people across Baltimore, in the state of Maryland. What would be your advice to young people who want to be artists, or even just young people who, aspire to impact the world, create change, be our next generation of leaders?
Yeah, it's really heavy to ask the young person to find their passion, but
Yeah.
because it takes a while for us to figure out. But I think my advice would be is to follow what you love and figure out a way that you can enjoy being of service where it brings joy to yourself personally and professionally, and find a way to give and feed that. So it may take you a while, you may try some different things, but when you're talking about the artist, I think first you have to appreciate what's right here before you can appreciate everything that this world has to offer. There's
Yes.
some dynamic things to offer here in Baltimore. I
Mhm.
think every person should be willing to go out and first be a tourist in their own city,
Yeah.
looking at everything that's out here. And it's not always about reinventing the wheel, but finding a way that you can communicate and connect to those various opportunities and living out loud. There's no need to be ashamed on where you start or where you start your begin your process, but not just trusting the process, but just living out loud, being willing and bold enough to ask questions, to
Yeah.
seek out mentors, to go visit places, to, you know, figure it out, find it out. And there's so many people here that want to help, that
Yeah.
have kind of been through this one time before, that would
Right.
be willing to offer advice. So I would say as long as they are open minded, there's a lot to be filled out here and a lot to fulfill. So I would encourage the youth and the young folks to, live out loud, be bold, try new things, become a tourist in their own place to get the exposure that goes inside and outside of the classroom.
Mhm.
And I think the focus, what we've learned at the end of the day after coming through a year of COVID, is you have to learn to appreciate and value the smallest things.
Oh
You
God.
never knew.
Yeah.
You never knew how important it was to have fresh air, to be outside, to have an
Mhm.
interaction with another person, another human
Right.
being,
Right.
the
Yeah.
value of family, the value of friends,
Mhm.
and education in school.
Yeah.
Like you can never stop learning.
Right.
Never stop learning.
Yeah.
So I know that's a lot of advice I would give,
That's
but I
great
just
advice.
it's from the heart because I want people to know that there's hope and they are the future. If
Ab-
there's anything with this world right now that they're uncomfortable about or uncomfortable with or don't particularly like, they are the future. They can make changes that influence the next generation. I think it's so important.
It is. It is. Well, that's great advice. Before we sign off, please tell us how we can follow the hotel, get more information about the new hotels, the one here, of course, in Baltimore, and just
Yeah.
stay tuned with everything that you all are doing.
Yeah. So the parent company, PendryHotels.com, you can follow that easy. The other is Sagamore Pendry Baltimore. You can find us on Instagram, on most social media platforms. And we're open. We're located at 1715 Thames Street, right here in the heart of Fells Point. I would definitely encourage anyone locally to come and pay us a visit. I'd love to give a tour, to show you around, to let you see some of the amazing things inside the hotel. But yeah, you can find us on those platforms, Pendry Hotels, Sagamore Pendry Baltimore.com. And we look forward to seeing you very soon.
Great. Well, thank you so much for your time today and sharing your experiences and wisdom with us. We really appreciate it. And I know for sure I will be checking out the hotel very soon. So thanks again for your time.
I look forward to it. Thanks so much, Ms. Carr. Have a great
All
day.
right. You too.
Bye bye.
Bye-bye.